And today we're going to go over how to create and complete an ED number. And the purpose is because the ED log will no longer be used starting January 2025. It's being replaced with ED numbers in EnerGov. And the reason why is because this will improve the data consistency. It decreases some of the issues of duplicate numbers, missed numbers, deleted numbers in an Excel spreadsheet. And then SQL cases will no longer be used, and we're working on converting those into ED numbers for historical purposes. So going forward, we're going to use ED numbers in EnerGov. They'll be identified as environmental determination plan types, and you'll be offered a selection of work classes that include EIR, which also includes the addendum to an EIR or consistent with an EIR, a negative deck and mitigated negative deck, which also includes addendum to an NDMND or consistent with an ND or MND, and then also exemption. So we're going to start with a presentation here of a demonstration. This is a DRC case, a minor use permit. We've got it all set up here. Yeah, we've already created a minor use permit. We've set up the case. We have completeness review done. All the referrals have gone out, have been received. We have all of our comments, and now we're ready to do the environmental review. Again, this is a DRC case. We see on the summary that it's just a land use non-coastal appealable, and it's accepted for processing is still where it is on the workflow. And so we'll start the environmental review, and all we do is we click on environmental review, and then we click on the plus sign here. And when we click on the plus sign, we can either hit enter here, or if you know what it is, you can just type it in. It's easy enough to do enter. And then for this one, we'll go ahead and drop down to add NDMND, and I click the square to check it. Click select. And then to add an NDMND, we'll click the plus sign, but first we have to save. If I hadn't saved and I tried to click the plus sign, it would have told me you have to save first. Computers are smarter than me, that's for sure. The plus sign right here, so we hit the plus, and now we're going to add a new plan. Now this plan is going to be the ED number. So we see that the address is the same. We still have our nice owners, the Griffiths, who have agreed to participate in this demonstration. Kinda. Fake demonstration. We're going to assign it to myself because I am working on it. I have to figure out how to spell my name. There we go. Only had it for 26 years. And then the description, I'm going to put test, but you could put, let's see if this was like a consistent with or a modification of or a supplement to an EIR or something like that. You could put that in the description. So now I'm going to go to the next page, and then the plan details. This is important. You have to add a project type. So you want to select private or public. Make sure you identify if there's cannabis activities or not. And then if you want to, you can add any of the factors for your initial study. You don't have to do that. You might want to. You can also come in and change it if you need. So this is completely optional. Then click on next. I'm going to take this nice person off. I'll put my fake self up there. And then we'll go to our next. We don't need to add any files. Then we go to fees. And in this case, we took the fees out for demonstration purposes only because we have to pay them in real life, and we don't want to be paying fees. So normally, if you were doing this in the live production environment, fees would populate here for the environmental determination. And then we go to confirm. And we notice that all of these have the green check marks, which is what we're always looking for. So we click on finish. And it's going to say right here, please invoice required fees right away and verify that they've been paid before continuing. So we get back into our ED case here. Normally there would be fees here, so we would want to go in and invoice those. But we also see that there's a hold. And the reason there's a hold is because for EIRs and ND and MNDs, we have to have real-time billing cost agreements collected and signed. So if we click on the active holds, we open up view holds, it shows right here that a signed cost accounting agreement is required before any work can proceed. So we go, we contact the applicant sends it to us, we have a signed copy. Now we can go down to the activities here, and we'll add an activity, and that activity will be that we received. So right underneath activity type, I scroll down to the received signed RTB agreement. Then I go to additional info, and I identify what type of billing process they want to use, whether it's an RTB case deposit or a trust deposit. So I'm going to do RTB case deposit. You don't need to do anything here. And then I'm going to click on create down here. And now you see that it says it's been received. When we save this, this active hold should go away. So we'll save. We'll have to refresh too. Most of the time when you save, you have to refresh too. We just say, yes, we know we already did that. It's a real-time build case. Please track time accordingly. Click OK. Okay, so before I saved it, you could still see that red active hold here. We saved it, then we waited, and then we refreshed. And once we refreshed, that active hold went away because we added the signed RTB agreement. So that's important. Then again, we need to make sure that those fees have been paid. We've invoiced any additional fees at this point. Then we go up to our workflow. Now, so that you know, if you're back here, so this is your DRC case, right? And you'll see that everything's turned blue now because it's in process. This environmental determination is in process. Anyway, so we have, see how it's blue here? It's because it's in process. The good thing about that is that you can still continue on the workflow. So we would still be able to do the advisory review and the department hearing and actually go to hearing, do all those things. Once we go to hearing, we've complete the appeal period. We're ready to say, yes, the environmental review can be completed. We can click on that environmental review, and then that will take us to our ED number, right? So I'm just going to go like that. We're back there again. Make sure that you add any additional fees that you might want. So, you know, you'll have to make a decision on the business practice of this, but I know one of the things that comes up is the Fish and Wildlife Services fee. So you might want to add that invoice that fee here as well, make sure it's paid, and then you can go to your workflow and close it out. And the way you do that is you just click on close out, then you record the notice of determination, you click on the plus sign. When it opens, you'll see that it automatically defaults to record notice of determination, so everything here looks right. Then we go to additional info, and in additional info, we'll add the recorded date. I'm going to say it was recorded yesterday, and then your state clearinghouse number. So you'll need to grab that from the state clearinghouse, and I'm pretty sure it starts with the year. And then just answer a yes or no, are there any mitigation measures? And we'll say yes, because there probably are. And then we click on create below. You see it's still blue, so we know we need to check the mark to make it green, and then save. And then it reminds you again to make sure that you check your time accordingly since it's a real build case. Click OK, that goes away, and you've finished this workflow. You can go to summary, see that it's 100% complete. You can go to details and see that it has been adopted. If this were an EIR, it would say certified. If it was exempt, it would say approved. So that's a negative declaration. The same thing will happen when you do an EIR. You still have to go through the same thing with the fees. You have to go through the same thing of the active hold, making sure you get a signed cost sharing agreement. I say that, I mean cost accounting agreement for the real-time billing. And other than that, everything is pretty much the same. So So reminding you again that you need to remember to have the fees, make sure they're invoiced and you stop work until they're paid, that you can, the other thing is if you have not started the workflow yet and you've identified the wrong class. Like, let's say you think it's going to be an EIR, but it turns out it just needs an ND, MND. You can change that work class up until the time that the workflow has started. So that's pretty important, because sometimes we think it's going to be one thing and then it turns out to no, it's actually exempt or whatever. You can change that as long as you don't start that workflow. And then the other thing we need to remember again is that RTB hold, and making sure that we go to the activities tab once we have the cost accounting agreement signed by the applicant. We load it up, we add the activity that we've received the agreement. You'll enter any other information under additional information. You'll click create, you'll save, and then that hold will go away. And then the final thing is that Public Works is also going to be using ED numbers in EnerGov. They will not long be using the ED log either for their Public Works projects. And that's all I have.
All right. That wasn't
So I'll
too
stop
bad.
sharing. It wasn't too bad. Oh, good.
Thank you.
Yeah, you know, Zarina worked really hard to try to keep this very simple, and I think that the end product is really going to be helpful. And let us know if you have any questions. File some fresh test tickets. You've got the recording here. I'll go ahead and I'll load that onto the MySlow page too. We'll have MySlow user guides that we'll send out to everyone, the link on MySlow where you can find those. And other than that, thank you. Thanks so much for your time.
Right,
Thanks, Jennifer.
Thanks,
Jennifer.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.